Who wants to recap what happened last week?
We escaped the spot without,
We did
running out of
suffocate.
air.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really find anything valuable. The the fortress or whatever we entered had disappeared by the time we exited. We got back. We asked what our reward was, and instead of money, he offered some a boon. Meanwhile, Kleok has decided that it is time for some real party goals and such. And so he's called a meeting. And so today's session is we figure out who gets the boon, what our actual party goals are, since we didn't actually decide that offline like we had hoped, and go from there.
I need to assess how many days we've been out. Because we lost some money.
You mean your crew that you have to pay?
Uh-huh.
How much money is the crew?
I'll tell you in a bit.
All right.
That was kind of my point on the goals, is we have to keep doing missions until we get to ability where we have enough money to do what we want.
I think you've been on this planet for 2 weeks now.
Okay, at the dawn of day 7, we set off towards the fortress. How long did it take us to storm the fortress? And call our ship and get back.
I believe there's 2 long rests. And so it's probably been 3 or 4 days since the last one ended, at least. Because you had a day before you set out from town. And you've had a day back at town. I mean, at least 2 days out. So yeah, probably like 5 days.
Well, I said we left towards the fortress at day 7.
Was that after Saradin did his thing and you guys had a long rest at town?
When he arrived, Kleok scouted Saradin was being attacked. We took a short rest.
But we didn't long rest at town after the sword, right?
Anyway, let's call it 9 days and move on.
Nine days since when?
Since we landed on Errant. To rescue. We started on the mission to rescue Errant 5 days. Anyway. Since the last time the count is since the last time I paid out for our crew.
Probably a little more than 9, but we'll deal with that later if we need to. Back on topic, you pay for the crew and Kleok is taking a meeting of the group and you guys were talking about what to do. And who would get the boon from the person that was rewarding you for the quest.
So I think we decided I'm going to get the boon, whatever that ends up being.
All right.
I do believe that is correct.
As far as party goals goes, if we want to say we shouldn't be fighting the flesh dealers yet or whatever because we're not powerful or rich enough, that's fine. But I do want that to be a thought of.
It doesn't mean that when we pick missions, we can't go. This mission would hurt them. Let's do that one.
Exactly.
We found several people who are clearly, allied one way or another with the flesh dealers.
Correct.
Our first captain was very much against. The second captain was very much against.
Plus, we need to get our bounty bigger. I mean,
Clearly.
Do you know what your current bounty is?
nope. As far as we know, no one's actually come after us for it either. So it must not be that big. Ew.
They came at us once, remember?
Kind of.
They did. And you also found out how much it was at one point.
I don't remember it being that big.
And how much was it at that point?
I'd have to look it up.
Well, Baden doesn't have it on him,
Right.
so he probably wouldn't know how much it was.
Well, it wasn't also even the full crew. It was everyone who went into the talk at that particular time.
That's what
They
it
put a
was.
bounty on people or on a ship?
People.
Individual people.
Hmm.
So, what is the goal?
Alright, Baden likes the idea of figuring out how those soul crystals were made to stop it from happening, if possible.
How do you plan to do that?
Looking around.
Hmm.
We're talking goals right now, not implementation yet.
That's correct.
Okay.
So Baden has no idea how to implement it. Who knows, maybe one of the people in a soul crystal will know more about how and where it happened.
Well, wasn't that soul chalice of some kind creating those soul crystals? Or were they just happen to be near each other?
You don't know.
That was a messy dungeon to crawl. I'm not sure I want to go back there and investigate further.
How messy was it?
Yeah, it almost killed all of us several times.
So, about the right level.
Mhm.
Alright, so we need to find more missions to be able to support the crew, because we can't do this for free.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Firefly situation. Um, we all seem to like the general idea of trying to find out, or at least free, if not do more with the soul crystals.
Now, that being said, the soul crystals were basically a way for us to create more party members if we wanted to.
Right.
It's from a player
And so
standpoint,
that
not
is
from a character.
exactly.
I see this as we're starting Act 2, but we don't actually know what the goal of Act 2 is. The goal of Act 1 was to get ourselves a ship. Or at least get our introduction to the world and then have a means to provide for ourselves. Well, we now have that. Now what's the next bigger, better goal for the Seekers? Now we exist as a group, the Seekers. Which probably should go a little bit beyond freeing people from soul crystals.
Probably.
Are we explorers? Are we opposing the flesh dealers? Are we doing something else? That's what I want to know.
I like the idea of exploring and solving problems where we go. Opposing injustice wherever it may be.
Are we mercenaries?
far
Are
reaches.
we? Do we like? You know, get a reputation with one of the brokers that say we're mercenaries for hire, and then we do, instead of it being investigation, it's more charisma insight stuff because they're coming to us, not us going to a job board. Do we even want to think about doing something like that? Do we want to
It's kind of interesting because Nate has recently introduced, or sorry, we've recently encountered other groups with fame of some kind of, competitors. And I
Yeah, let's
wonder
go
if
help the
that's something we
competition.
want to pay attention to or not.
I mean, we can always beat out the competition.
basically it's the idea that the jobs on the board can and will be picked up by other people, so there's opportunity costs for whatever job we do. It means the other jobs that we were considering may or may not have already been completed by some other group or otherwise pulled.
Yep.
Okay.
You thought you were the only adventurers in the galaxy?
Yeah, of course.
Don't worry,
Okay,
I
so what
rolled
do we
for
want
it
to
to
do?
see if it was taken or not. So, what's the plan?
How much does the crew cost for the last week and a half?
Okay, so you wanted to know that.
Yeah.
It's about 17 a day
Okay, that's
for the
not
whole ship
terrible.
right now.
Okay.
So we burned 170 gold pieces for 10 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I need to post what we picked up. I at least wrote down what Kliak looted. I didn't write down the other one. I am very bad at this party management.
Clear.
One of the
So,
bodies had 80 gold to 230 silver on it. The other one had something similar.
Yep. So we
That might
can pay
actually
off
pay for everything.
So we basically
fairly.
broke even.
We get that
So I
twice.
got 100 gold. It was that on one body, and the body I investigated, I got 100.
So we got a total
So
of
we
203.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we got 33 gold pieces out of that.
Yay!
And that's if you, don't spend the rest of it trying to decide what you want to do and get out of here.
So Baden, seeing that everything I picked up is going to the crew, is going to advocate we get another job doing something good for people.
Well, if exploring is our goal, then shouldn't we leave and try to go someplace new?
Well, Baden wants to have the resources to do so before
I want a
we set
sponsor
out.
if we're doing
Baden? Baden,
Yeah.
we're sitting on 8,000 gold pieces.
Oh,
And a
okay.
ship that's fully equipped for 6 months.
Baden thought y'all were more broke than that due to outside of game sources.
The ship, we've got, our ship was worth like 50,000 gold pieces. And we've spent another 10 or so on improvements. And we happened across a chair worth like 250,000. Whew.
the helm.
So we're doing all right. We can't just sit around and do nothing. But we're doing
Yeah.
okay for right now.
Okay.
So
John,
I think we've brought this down to two main things. Either we're going to oppose the flesh dealers, maybe not quite openly, but start looking for ways to make their lives miserable, since they're the main reason the original crew has been not stranded anymore, but was kidnapped and sent up here in the first place. Or we find a sponsor and we become more deep area explorers.
Well, I was gonna say, how much did you say we have money wise? 8,000?
7,833 gold pieces.
We have like 2 magical items.
Basically
And
total
what did
for
we
the whole
pay for
group.
food every day?
17
Oh, just 17 total?
a day. Yes, total.
So that's what? 470 days?
Okay.
So, yeah. We're kind of good for a while.
I'm hungry too.
But we did.
Yeah, we can fast forward 1/9 of Cleoc's life if you want to. Until we're broke again.
It's a bit rude.
Shall we go ahead and just see if we can find a shipment to take us somewhere?
Okay, yes, but let's work on this goal idea first. I do think it would make a lot of sense thematically and personally for us to be opposing the flesh dealers.
I mean, the ones that captured us in the first place?
It seems like everything that's evil in the spelljamming world tends to have a slavery element to it. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it seems to be a real big theme, galactically speaking. The bad guys don't just go around murdering people, they go around enslaving people.
Why kill when you can enslave? You can get more from them.
Yeah,
If nothing
it's good
else, you can
profit
use them till
margin.
they die, and then you eat them.
So,
Old meat is tough. Get them all young.
But an old brain is still a brain.
the torture. About if we're But we can fly around places of the flesh disrupt.
Is Cookie? You sound like you're going a little bit staticky to me. Is it going staticky to anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit to me.
Hmm.
I'm with going against the Celestials.
Was Harridan with us when with our
Not the full.
encounters with them?
I was with them when we narrowly avoided getting swept up by them again.
Yeah, he was there when you returned to port and nearly engaged with them.
I see.
For some reason, they didn't take. I don't know these guys truthfully, so.
IUs typically aren't liked by many people.
You know, they were considering calling the Mind Flayer and letting him consume your brain to find out the truth.
Yes, I saved against one of them to make before they really probed my brain.
That's good.
Because they tried.
Of course they tried.
They didn't really try and do it openly because we were still in the middle of port.
Yeah, they mentally probed. They didn't physically probe, which they can do.
Thanks for letting us know.
They can harness memories from a brain they have consumed.
Fun.
And the higher the intellect, basically, the more nutritious the meal is to them.
So we'll basically junk food.
Oh, I'm doomed.
Okay. So, do we have an accord?
Fight the overarching slavery and oppose slave flesh dealers where we can.
Yes.
I'm not sure outright's a good idea either, but doing something is better than nothing.
I would agree that we certainly shouldn't be declaring open war on them. There might be something a little bit more but we can certainly, figure out ways to hinder their business.
Of course.
Right.
I think that seems wise.
Okay. So, with that said,
With that,
what would we like to do next? Would we like to go to someplace new? Would we like to search out this place to see what kind of flesh dealer influences there are? We still have that.
we should probably spend a little bit of time figuring out, knowing our enemy, because we actually know fairly little about flesh dealers and mind flayers in general. If we're going to oppose them by, doing jobs that would hinder their dealings or make things difficult for them, then we would ideally want to know exactly what would cause the problems.
Yep. So search for new ways to hinder their problems.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We should. Yeah. That would be a good goal. Do you guys trust the broker we've been chatting with?
I trust him completely to tell you exactly what he's supposed to.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Just like every other person you meet.
Well, I mean, we haven't noticed any of the races associated with the flesh dealers at port, have we? Want to just
Not that
go
you've
look
seen.
around town and see if they have a physical presence?
Now, really, it kind of depends on. I would say most civilized ports like this probably won't have a flesh dealer presence because a lot of people outright fear the squid heads. They're not really welcome in a lot of ports. When they show up, it's kind of big deal. We'd probably need to go someplace a little bit more shady than this. Most jobs we've been doing have been from the upstanding citizens of the various towns.
So go to where Rio likes to hang out.
Pretty much, yeah.
She's usually laying about in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
You talk strange. I don't know about that. Seems counterintuitive to go to the dangerous places.
I mean,
Sketchy
that's how we get
people.
paid, don't we?
Well, I thought you knew better, Cookie. Well, wait, I can understand group now? Oh, that was my boon. Oh! Just kidding.
Be careful what you say before it becomes reality.
I know that. I know that eventually that we may actually begin to understand group as downtime activities. Try and learn group's language.
Squeaks and Nurisil do, because they both rolled an int check and successfully learned it over the trip here.
That's nice.
I'm just saying that others have the opportunity to as well.
Okay.
Wherever we travel between the spheres, there's a bit of downtime, and that's when that can be done.
Sounds good.
Okay.
To the book.
So you guys want to go find a shadier part of town and start poking around?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying.
A shadier city.
Lead the way. I have personally no clue how to find that.
I think Aerolith does, actually. Let me pull a little character sheet up.
Yeah, well, I need to know what kind of thing you're using to be able to find said part of town. Seeing as most of you aren't the characters of ill repute.
Hey, Yonovan, where's the bad part of town?
Hey now.
uh, as an alternative suggestion, I say let's go to the broker and talk to him.
Yeah.
As part of his job, he's kind of. I would expect a good broker to have his ear to the one ear listening to various rumors and such.
That is
Right.
He can at least provide us a general overview of potential flesh dealings in the area, and we can do it under the pretense of we want to protect our ship.
So you think the broker you went to is the one who knows a shady part of town?
You might know where the shady part of town is.
He is more likely to know than we are.
Ta-da.
At least he's the local, so that is true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what broker are you going to go speak to?
I believe they're talking about Folk and Company.
Folk is a broker that is here. Indeed.
Because we're in Garganov. Folk is the broker.
Yes, he is a broker.
So, are you
you
going?
go to Folk, talk to him.
Yep.
Hey, greetings, greetings. How can I help you?
Well, we took care of the job your whatever his name was. I read it down.
We just talked to him.
Geely?
Keely, yeah.
Yes.
Sounds like dwarf, not a dwarf.
We took care of the job that Geely had requested of you to find. We hope that he's no longer bothering you.
No, indeed. He seems to have left town.
Were we gonna ask for something?
Where's the bad part of town?
What?
Well, excuse us. We. How do we say this?
Where's the bad part of town?
In the efforts of protecting our ship and our resources, we wish to know where the less savory people might be.
Well, it
We
depends on
want
your
to protect
appetite.
ourselves.
It's not an appetite, it's self-preservation.
Oh, so you're saying dangerous? Because, I mean, there's a bit of
Yeah.
a slums area, which, you know, is kind of a unsavory part of town in some cases. There's a section of town that has some...
Okay, Eola's just gonna fade out, ask if there are any signs of face stealers or face eaters. Flesh eaters, there we go.
I like
Flesh
face
eaters?
eaters.
Face eaters.
Okay,
Face
she's never
eaters?
actually
From the crowd.
met.
That's
She's
fair.
never actually met these guys before, so.
Erlith. They're flesh dealers, and try not to speak too loud about it, just because it's not.
Kosher.
Yeah. Okay, so
It could cause some unneeded attention.
Hysteria.
has anyone in this town been dealing flesh?
Not helping.
I got some beef
Yes,
here.
in some ways. What are you referring to? Are you looking for what some call a good time?
Honestly, I don't know what they are. I've never met them before, but these guys seem afraid of them, so.
Okay.
Oh man.
You have some strange members.
We do indeed.
Yeah, Folk would be seeing Kleok at this point in time just kind of slump over, lower his head, and sigh.
And Squeaks and Nerissa would be on the ship because no one asked them to come along.
Might be a good thing in this scenario.
Yep.
Forgive my companion for being a little blunt. We're just trying to make sure that we have all of the appropriate knowledge, just to make sure that we don't get ourselves involved in things that we don't want to be involved in.
I,
If you know what I mean.
at this point, I'm not sure I do. Between all the confusion going on. So, let's rewind a bit and tell me what's going on and what you're looking for.
So I'll be completely honest with you. We're relatively new to space around here. A lot of us would probably still call us groundlings.
What's a groundling? Is that like your slang name for a dwarf?
Hey, no.
Just someone who's
We were taken from our sphere and we don't exactly know how to get back.
Oh. That is odd.
We were taken by someone who worked, at least for the flesh dealers, and we've had several run-ins with them over the past, but we've always pretty much run away in terror. But we'd like to get back at them.
Interesting.
Are you aware of an organization called the Flesh Dealers?
Not here. Not on this planet that I'm aware of. That doesn't mean they're not, because I certainly don't know every inch of the planet. I'm more so in this port.
Then I must say you should consider yourself lucky.
Have you ever met creatures that look like a squid on their face?
Can't say I have.
All right.
Well, and sorry for bothering you.
I mean, I've heard of a giant sea beast with tentacles. I think what they call the squid, or a kraken, or something like that. But I've not seen it or dealt with it.
The sphere we come from, they're Flesh Dealers, or an organization dealing with that are feared, a large organization that are feared and deal with amongst other things, slavery and mind control and stuff like that. And so we're trying to make sure that we don't accidentally get involved with that kind of thing.
That is interesting.
But if they haven't come to this sphere, then you should consider yourself very lucky.
They haven't that I know of. But if they're the kind of people you're saying, they might not always use the same name.
Do you have anyone that illegally trades in slaves, or anyone that trades in slaves here?
Not that I'm aware of. Slavery was made illegal in this city quite a while ago.
Oh, that is good to hear.
There might be in the swamps. There's some other groups that are not part of the alliance that are there.
I believe we're just confusing the broker. Our apologies.
No, that's right. The Half-Elf Federation here, or alliance, that's kind of interchangeable names, is kind of, keep the most prominent place, group on the planet, but that doesn't mean they're the only.
thank you very much for your time. We
Indeed.
may take a look at any other jobs in the area before we head out, and we may be back.
Certainly. If there's a job you're interested in, let me know, and I'll definitely see what I can do to set you guys up with it.
Thank you very much.
Oh, hey, before we leave, can you give us a status about the quest to go to Agicholm with the Library of Arcane Devices?
Oh, you guys have been gone a while, so the company of the Axe Thunder actually took that up and did it.
Okay. Thank you. Alright, we leave. I was staying quiet because, I'm really bad at talking, but it seems like I couldn't be any worse.
That's fair.
You can always get better at talking.
Well,
You're
in
right,
character and
Maricel,
out of
you're right.
character, I'm very bad at talking because
But you're not here.
with 8.
I know, it's great.
And yet I've somehow kind of become a little bit of the leader or driving force in this. And it's like I'm talking to the NPCs. What is this?
You know what's going on.
And Cookie, the highly charismatic one, is fumbling over the thing, the stuff.
Yes, he is.
Anyway, if we want to see what the flesh dealers are up to, we probably need to. Our safest bet would be to return to the.
The Catan Sphere?
Yes.
Yeah, I like the broker that we knew
There was also, if I recall correctly, a couple months ago, there was a job that we didn't take, that we got news had been destroyed by what was likely the flesh dealers.
That seems worth checking out.
No idea what you're talking about.
That was a while back, so. There was one job that we turned down for a different one, and then when we got back, we found out that whatever sphere or area or whatever it was on had been, I believe it had been destroyed.
Really? That sounds terrible.
Anyway, if we are...
We could go back, but I kind of like to go forward.
That's fair.
Especially if we could find a way to Rupert Star from here.
To where?
Well, there were 2 spheres connected to Catan. Garganoff and Rupert Star.
Right.
So, if we can find a way to Rupert Star from here, if they form some kind of a triangle, then we already sort of know how to get from there to Catan again.
There's 3 other exits from this sphere. To where they go, you do not know.
Well then, let's go to... I don't know if we've ever had an official name for it, but let's go and talk to the cartographer, astrologian. Go to the port where all the flying ships go and go to the...
Figure out where we're trying to go.
Go to the port and see what actually connects here.
Sounds like a plan.
And then if we decide to choose the one of them, then I can see us deciding on either taking some sort of job or buying goods for um, for travel and try and sell to try and make up the costs. Seem reasonable?
Seems reasonable.
So, you go to the area and you see next to the astrozoologists, you see a smaller place that is labeled as the astral cartographers.
Yes.
Let's go in.
So the astrocartographers are there. At least there is one.
Male or female? Before
That's a great question. It's loading.
before I say hello, sir.
Can it be a ma'am? Yeah. Give me just a moment.
It's a creature you've never seen before. You cannot determine their gender.
No, it's more that it's loading. It is a male halfling. What do you know?
What gender?
Male.
Male. You've not seen these before. You do not know.
And we walk in and say, hello, sir. Maybe. Maybe not.
Just quickly jotting it down, sorry, to make sure I don't lose the name. uh, yeah, can I help you?
I hope so. We came in on a ship called the Secret Salvation. Have been in port for the last few days, but we are looking at um, taking out soon. But we'd like to know a little bit more about what this sphere connects to. As we are usually based in the city in the sphere of Katoon.
Yes, we have some dealings with Katoon. So, what is it you're needing?
We're curious as to if there are any other spheres you trade with, or this sphere connects to, as part of travel and such. 'Cause we're seeking potentially doing some more trade dealings and want to
So,
want
so,
to
so you
know.
want to know the spheres that connect to this one? Is that what you're
Yes,
asking?
yes.
Let me check the charts. See here. There's one that only has one location in it and nothing really of note. Let's see. The name is. I'm trying to find it here. Enthier.
Panther.
Enthier. Anethir.
Anethir.
Yes, I see records state that there is no planetary body and there's a primary body of fire in the center. No known bases or anything there.
Nothing known about it? Okay.
It's a sphere with a primary fire body of classification size F. What
Is
would
that
you like to know?
big?
He just like puts his head in his hand and is like, people asking about things they don't know about. I should have known.
Baden's like, no one else is talking really right now. I don't know what I'm doing.
Our apologies. We're still relatively new to the. Actually, Nate, would knowledge like that come with our for a couple of us as
It's not
like
necessarily part of it. It's something you could definitely learn. Um, but it typically is the further on the letter, the larger is the object
Okay.
is.
So big.
Fairly
That's the
large.
main thing. Okay.
because I know at the very least Cookie and I have a um cat proficiency in what was it? Did I actually not write it down on my sheet? I know I did. Huh.
You guys still there?
We're still here.
Yes. The other sphere that we connect to is Egan's Trinket. Such an arrogant person to name a sphere after themselves.
Egan's trinket. Okay.
It contains 6 bodies other than the primary.
Okay.
And the final one that we connect to other than Catoon, since you mentioned you came from there, I figured you don't need to know that you connect to where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see the name. Just a moment here, I'm flipping through the charts, I need to find it. Is a sphere called Obina.
Obrina?
Obina. Obina.
Alright.
And it is known to only have one body, but no primary.
That must be rough.
Apparently there is a flat Earth body that is the only body there.
Oh, the flat earthers. I've heard of them.
Interesting. Thank you.
Of course it's flat Earth. There's flat fire, there's round fire, there's ringed fire, there's all sorts of
Is there
fire.
cubic
There's
fire?
flat Earth, there's round Earth, there's oval Earth, there's, all sorts of things. I don't understand why you're so shocked by this flat Earth thing.
Out of character, do we now have the knowledge to travel to these places, or do I need to ask that?
Oh, you can navigate out of here to them. You could
Okay.
have done that without knowing,
Yes.
but you don't
But
know
now
where
we know
you're
what's
going.
there.
But now you could know where you're going and state which one you want to go to.
Okay.
And so your cartographer of the group, whoever that may be, I thought Cookie had mentioned possibly keeping a map, but I can't remember who all said they're going to keep a map of your spheres.
I'm writing down the information we know. I haven't done any actual mapping yet.
Okay. Well, basically, if
sounds
you just
really
keep
complex.
like circles of the spheres, when you put the name in it, you can basically then draw a line out to another circle and say that it connects.
Uh-huh.
Draw.io is pretty nice for diagrams.
You want a map?
I can. I just don't have any info.
Sure you do. There's 2 spheres that were previously known of.
I'll get
3
with
technically,
Cookie for that
but yeah.
information.
Yeah, it's fairly simple because this is the only
Okay.
other sphere they've gone to, other than their first one, with their own ship. And so they had gone elsewhere before that, but they don't know how they got there. And so those don't exist in their minds. And what they learned is that captains create and keep their own charts. And so they're not things that you just are given. So they have their own charts. They may share some details with each other if they're on good terms with each other, but each charts are their own. This is the first you've seen of any actual astrocartographer group.
That's actually pretty nice. Okay.
Well, guys, I guess you want to search for...
So we have spheres we've been to, like 5 or 6, and we have spheres where we know they are 2.
Well, really, 1.
3. You know that you can go from here to Khatun, and you know Khatun connects to, what was the name of that one?
Rupert Star.
Rupert Star, thank you. And you know here in Hafel connects to 3 others other than Khatun.
Yeah.
And you now know what those are.
Okay.
So you know of a grand total of 6 spheres.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of sounds interesting to visit the sphere that's flat.
Yeah.
It really does.
The sphere isn't flat. It is a sphere. Within the sphere, there's
No, I
a
know.
flat planet.
I wonder how they survive without a sun. Or if the sun is transcribed on the surface of the sphere.
That'd be weird.
Huh. Obviously, someone's in charge of Egan's trinket.
We'll have to ask Nurse though if one of the places sounds familiar to his former home.
Anything else?
Oh, how much would be proper, out of character, how much would be proper to give him for his services? Probably a couple of silver.
Yep. Probably.
Cleoc thanks him for, thank you very much for your
Gives him
services,
5.
and I lay a couple of pieces of silver on the table.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Just to point out, no one did ask about any jobs for paying for discovery from the place that seems to be keeping track of places.
We're not used to asking people for jobs. We do that at job board.
Just said you were going to, and you then didn't at the first opportunity you had
No,
to
we
do
didn't
so.
say these things.
So we had to know what spheres are connected. Now we can go to the job board and look to see if the spheres are mentioned. Right?
Sure. Sure.
I don't understand what we did wrong.
We could have asked the guy. We got the information from if he had any jobs on discovering other spheres.
You all stated you wouldn't mind being paid to explore, and the one place you've encountered where they keep track of exploring, you did not ask if that was a possibility.
I thought we decided that we were going to focus on the flesh dealers, and so we had abandoned being explorers. That's one of the reasons why we didn't ask.
Okay, that's fine. So, where are you going to a job board? Because where you had gone were all planet side based jobs.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It might be that this sphere doesn't really trade in off-sphere jobs.
Well,
Also
remember
depends on
that.
where you look.
Well, when we entered, we were. This is a, for lack of a better term, really controlled sphere. Because if I remember right, the original job that took us here is that we took government cargo, 3 tons of it, passage to Garganov entry waived. Basically, when we entered the sphere, we were approached by a ship for the government here, basically asking what our business was.
Look at
And
you, documented or remembering. Either way, well done.
Yeah.
So the location we're at right now may only be concerned with the local concerns of Garganov. There may be a different location that handles it on a more bigger, more not planetary, but
Sphere.
sphere-based.
Sphere or intrasphere.
Yes.
All
I
right.
don't know what the correct terminology is. I'm a groundling, remember?
Well, did we find
That's fine.
job
That's why I'm just
boards
saying it's a
kind of
sphere.
in the? Do we find the job boards kind of in the government zone, or did we find it in the general city?
Let's go back to folk.
You went to an inn and found a job board there and proceeded to get tasks from there.
All right.
But yes, I did write it down. This is basically what I had written down about Garganov because I'm very bad at typing notes
Well,
for the job there.
you could always get
Okay.
better.
If anything, we're in the city of Halfeld.
Half elf?
I may have misspelled it because
Halfeld. That's right.
All right. Well, we could see if we can get governmental cargo to go somewhere else.
Garganov's primary base of operation is Halfeld. It's the biggest city. Has full ports and everything for landing. It also is like the sphere is actually called Garganov, but sometimes they just actually refer to it as the Halfeld sphere, even though it's actually called the Garganov sphere.
I see.
Okay.
So basically, official versus slang term. So, what would you like to do?
Well,
Oh,
I see our choices as either being walking around aimlessly, looking to see where we figure out where where intersphere business is done, or
Or we could hit the road.
or we could
Or
hit the road, or we could go talk to people and figure out if they know more, in which our best contact would likely be Folk, unless we were to just ask around.
I will say that Folk was in town, like in the city, is where you found him.
Yes.
And he
So maybe
did,
we should go to the docks and something. And maybe the non-government docks to see if they have job boards there.
you do have a few contacts with people who are not in the main city, but more in the Astro docks.
let's
So-
go try the docks.
So we escorted Ada to Garganov Sphere. That was the other reason we showed up here in the first place. Had a ginger-colored ferret familiar. If I remember right, she was either right next door to a place that, well, we delivered her right next door to a place that did ship upgrades.
Yeah, it's her family.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Me neither.
All right. It comes down to this. Aerolith,
Yeah?
do you want to just pick a place and go? Because it sounds like maybe we're ready for that experience. We've had
Yeah.
a lot of really failures on this sphere. I'm ready to have it behind us.
Yeah, I'm good for getting out of here too.
Where would you like to go?
No, that one I don't
To the
really have
planet
anything
with
on.
no sun? To the sun with no planet? Or to the realm owned by someone arrogant enough to put his name on it?
You know what? I want to go to that place and punch that guy.
Probably a bad idea.
That sounds like a Saradan thing and not an Aerolith thing.
I have to agree with that.
I haven't properly shaped this character yet.
I added
What's
your
it?
sphere chart to the Spelljammer folder.
Okay. If you want to give me specific edit access to it.
Oh, you should. I linked yours.
Okay.
So the one that you put up.
Let
And
me
so whenever that
see.
one updates, it should update.
But did someone say something about a planet with no sun?
Yes,
Yep.
there's a planet with no sun and a sun with no planet.
How do you have a planet with no sun?
We want to know that, don't we? It's flat, too.
Okay, you know what? I want to go there.
All in favor?
I
What are we going to?
We're going to explore. We can come back if we hate it. Probably.
Oh, all right.
all right. Yeah, I can edit it.
Roll a d12.
Who?
Someone.
Rolling. As soon as I find one here.
Uh,
You said
I got one.
D12?
I rolled a
Yes.
7.
Is that D12?
That's not a
That's
D12, that's a D10. I don't see a D12 on the board.
I rolled a
Okay,
7 on a
then
D12.
roll a
They're right here.
Okay.
He had
Ah.
one person.
7.
Yes.
Oh, wait, someone already said it. 7?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
We are going to Obina. Obina? How did you say that?
Uh,
Opa? Obina?
you talking about the place I posted? Or that
Yeah.
yeah. The sphere
That's
was
where we're
there.
going.
Yeah. It's OPINA, just so that you're aware.
And fixing that.
I heard a B, as in beta.
That's fine.
Not
That's
a
part
P
of
as
what's
in Paul.
nice about having it here is I can actually see it and update it.
Ah.
Could you spell A again for us? A against trinket?
I believe that one's correct.
EAGEN?
It's not Egan, it's Ekin. Sorry. EEKIN.
With a K?
EEK?
IN
I-N?
apostrophe S.
Alright.
Okay.
And Anther is ANETHIR. And that's one that
Oh,
just
we
has the
heard a
fire body.
P in front of it. There's no P?
For the one that just has fire, no. It's
Okay.
Why not
just an
call
A.
it Pyrosphere? Because that was already taken.
Because the person who found it decided to name it something different.
True. Okay. Thank you for the corrections.
Yeah.
This is vaguely reminding me of the Marvel Universe concept of spheres.
I appreciate
They're
you
going to
getting
say
that.
movies and TV shows. I have plenty of experience with diagrams. And flowcharts and all that fun stuff.
And it's already updated because I linked it.
Yep. And I can find it there, because
Yep.
it's somewhere in my drive. Somewhere.
Hey, now you know where to find it. That's part of why I
Yep.
added it to the Spelljammer folder so that everyone can, in the game,
I tried to
has
save
access
it
to
there originally, and it just
Right.
didn't go there.
But see, now you
But-
don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. So you guys are headed there. Let me get the last thing I need, which is
I need a link to that Spelljammer folder, apparently.
go
Oh,
to
there it
your
is.
Google Drive, and it's there.
I see it. Now. Here we go.
What's the name of the ship again?
Seeker's Salvation.
That's the ship name. The group name is just the Seekers.
Correct. Yes,
The diagram is now the Seeker Salvation Sphere map.
Nice.
Okay. Ah. Okay.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find the distance between spheres. It's been a while since I've done it. I apologize.
We're at speed 6. Mm.
Okay, let's see. Distance between spheres.
And for
Where
those of
is
you who
that?
like night mode,
Interesting. I can see that you've edited items in the folder, Matt. Google gives me notice whenever you edit and rename items in the folder.
yeah.
His item.
I know, which
Yep.
is really interesting because it's really his item that's linked to in the folder, but it still pays attention to the edit log.
Yep.
That's a pretty cool, complicated system they've built for themselves here.
Yep. That it is.
It is 90 days to the sphere. So you can add that to your map too.
Wow.
Filipina,
Yep.
90 days.
do we find this
Wow.
out ahead of time?
Yep.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, you wouldn't, but I mean, if you asked him, you could. So
There
technically,
we
you
go.
would find it out when you flew, since you didn't ask him. But
Yep.
if you wanted to go back and ask him, you could find out. And just for your map, I will roll a few more times. It
That is
is 29 days to next. Just go around clockwise.
29 days to Anther.
Yep. And 50 days to what was it? Trinket.
Eakins.
Yep. And I need to go take care of one thing, and I'll be right back. And you guys can figure out what you want to do and what you're doing there.
You guys still okay with doing that?
Yeah.
We should be able to resupply.
How
There.
far was it?
They are now
Night.
spaced.
90 days.
Not really. Not without a goal. Other than we're just going to show up and do whatever the hell's there.
I mean, exploring is one of our things.
I was feeling spontaneous, but you're right, it's a pretty big jump.
We
If it bothers you that much, think of it as a vacation from a hard work.
well also
A vacation to a place with no sun? This doesn't sound like a vacation.
also a point. We did say we were going there before we asked how far it was, and that we were just gonna go.
Uh-huh.
Oh, actually,
So
He was
I
offering
just
us to
thought.
retcon it, but
I was gonna just say we group will be fine, right?
yeah, group will. He's worked it out with Neuracell, that's why they're really close friends.
The light of his life.
We can do
Wow.
whatever you guys want. Well, we can do whatever you guys want, but this seems like the exact opposite of the goal. It's like, hey, let's pick out a big goal for the party. All right, we got a goal. Let's go to some place and not have any idea what the heck we're doing.
You're right.
Now, if we had chosen explorer to be our goal, then okay, that's fine. If we want flesh dealers to be a goal, but then also explorer to be do both goals, okay, that's fine. Let's go. I at least want to have one stated thing as to why we're going there. Otherwise, Cleoc's going to go like,
Crazy.
why are we going here?
3 months of his
Because we want to? I don't want to go without.
So what I find really frustrating is that we've been able to hand wave job boards before, and now we can't. And so it feels really hard to know what to do and where to go to do it, you know? I feel like I'm almost pulling teeth, and that's why I kind of felt like, fine, let's just leave and see what happens. And we picked the worst possible one. Now, it does sound interesting, but 90 days is rough. That's half our entire food supply.
Yeah.
What if we don't find anything there? We immediately have to go back.
Right.
Because we can't even go off on a different. Well, we can go off on a different direction. Let's say it connects to 3 unknown outer spheres, right?
Right.
That we
that's
can find.
Thing. But
we can
don't
pick
know.
one, but if that strikes out too, we starve.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless you can create food and water with all that magic of yours, Cookie.
Maybe.
Probably can, but you
Okay.
know, we might be glad we're level 5 because otherwise our crew might mutiny because we just went off to the middle of nowhere for a year with no goal.
All right. I think it's time to re-examine the viability of crossbreeding group with the coconuts.
I mean, yeah.
Thank you, Theridid. That's good.
Possibility of thrust, like, can ride the wave.
Teach group to grow coconuts.
That sounds like fun.
It almost sounds possible, too. I mean, can you graft an apple tree onto an olive tree?
Maybe. I must know now.
So that sounds like a bad idea. So, Leak, are you suggesting we go back to what's known, go back to Catan, and investigate the leads there?
I suggest that we can go there as long as we have a more valid reason than just because.
It's that, or we can go to Egan's trinket, which seems to have a lot more things.
It has more things, but it's also pretty much just because.
Well,
And to be honest, going to Egan's trinket just because of the things that we found out about all of these, just going to Garganoff's sphere required some sort of permit or we pay a toll.
Mm-hmm.
Is Egan's trinket the same way? I don't know how much that. A lot of information is not being given up unless we ask.
You're feeding back.
Okay, this is interesting. Out of game for a second. You can actually graft apple and plum trees together.
Nice.
Yeah, I know you can cross-graft stuff. I just didn't know how far.
Okay.
Alright, back on topic. We'll get to that later.
So, it sounds like we need to do the thing I didn't want to do and continue to try to find a job board of some kind that has jobs for off spheres. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Baden will help investigate for him.
We're getting some echo from Sheridan.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That better?
I don't know yet. No, it's worse.
Hmm.
It's louder, but not for me. Okay, well that's a little bit
Testing.
better.
1, 2, 3.
3. Oh,
Seems better.
yep.
No, we cannot graft to get Groot to make coconuts, unfortunately.
You couldn't be a fruit bearing tree, could you?
This is a world of magic.
I mean, it depends on what type of fruit he normally bears, actually.
So anyway, let's take a couple steps back. From the very beginning of this campaign, and you haven't seen much of it, Baden, but from the very beginning of this campaign, we've been punished for not having enough information.
Okay.
Well, I feel like we've been punished for not having enough information. So if we're going to wherever we're going to go, maybe we need to just ask every single NPC what the heck they know about it and then go. Sorry if I sound a little frustrated. My apologies.
That sounds like a good plan.
So you want Elith to be blunt then, got it.
Okay, let's locate a job board for off jobs.
It may not even be a job board. Maybe we go back to the cartographer and say, what's the reasons for even going out here? Is there anything we should talk to? Do you know anyone who does business out there? It doesn't necessarily have to be a job board. I just don't know who to talk to.
Go find a bar?
I'm sorry you feel that way, by the way, Cleoc, but it wasn't so much you were punished, just that the random rolls didn't always wind up so good when there wasn't information to find out about what would come up beforehand. Because I usually don't know until you interact with it.
Well, it sounds like we do need to. We either try to find another job board or we go back to the cartographer and ask him.
Well, does Baden know what a job board looks like?
Only one way to find out.
True.
Roll for it.
So let's go try and find a job board or get more information.
Okay.
I would advise talking to the dockmaster myself. That's where Cookie would suggest going. Because he was our local contact.
A question for you. Was she from this planet? I believe she said she was.
Who?
Name like your character there.
Baden?
Oh.
Or
no,
Aldra.
Baden's Aldra, thank you.
I don't know where Aldra's from. We'll say probably she's from this planet.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
Natural 20.
Aren't you spoiled? She steps in with the conversation going on now that she's heard it, and states that the master of the dogs, of the general Astro dogs, would probably know where or who to get information from, or at least know which brokers are reputable for getting Astro business, off-planet or interplanet or interspheres tasks, jobs.
Okay. All that information, let's go talk to those people. That seems like the best lead we've had in a while.
He refers you to. Let's find someone. Give me a minute. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's random rolls.
I have to step away for a moment.
Wow. All right. He refers you to a male tiefling named Etricad.
This will go well.
Awesome. Where is that person?
And he
We might be
refers you
slightly
to,
prejudiced against them.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, that's why I laughed. That's the benefit of the random rolls. There's a he refers you to the uh, Astro job board office that you see on the dock area.
Okay.
Give me a minute here to jot this stuff down.
All right.
Oh, this is funny. So according to the random thing, okay, he has an
Please.
animal companion as well. That is a ginger ferret. I, you
That's
know,
awesome.
it's great. So he is a more willowy built individual with silver hair and red eyes, and he's wearing a nice kind of like swashbuckler feathery hat in decent clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Greetings. How may I help you all today?
Hello. Um, I and my friends are looking for business to take us off planet. From what I'm aware, we have our own ship, and my companion's going to fill you in on the details. But is there anything that we can help you with, or jobs we can take?
Let me refer to this here and see how we're looking on jobs at the moment. Give me just a minute here. I'm trying to find it. Sorry. Give me just a moment.
Sorry. I think we should have Baden talk more often. He's really good at.
He's not charismatic whatsoever, but he can talk.
No, but he's very polite.
Yeah, he's lived a while. He knows politeness gets things done.
I like to think Cleo's
Here
also
we go.
polite, but he's just very bad at speaking.
Well, let's put it this way. Baden's had a number of decades to practice.
There is someone who wants to have a magical blade of some sort delivered to a Wamower. It's apparently in the... Let's see here... Eakin's trinket. Oh, it's probably Eakin getting some new item. Let's see. There is someone looking for some people to see what happened on a perpetual storm that's been happening in the, let's see here, Anthersphere. Apparently there is a storm that's just raging there that seems to just keep on going.
Like,
there is a individual
where?
In the sphere. There's just a sphere in the
Just a
main
storm.
body of the
Okay.
sphere.
Cool.
So it's probably an anomaly you'll be able to see when you enter and find out what's going on. Apparently, the person labeled it the Reef of Ghosts. This is the storm that they see. I'm not sure why they're passing through the sphere, but they saw it at one point, so they want to know what's going on. There's another one seeking to have a daughter escorted back to, since you said you didn't tell this guy that, never mind. Having a daughter escorted to a elven town. Apparently there's a elven sub-town back in Katoon. There is... Oop, give me a minute here.
Is that seriously the same person we took on before?
No, she's an elf. The other lady was human.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to quickly jot it down so I don't forget where these are.
Because that would be hilarious.
Concluded your business, miss.
You remember that she wasn't very happy to go.
Let's see. Apparently there's a pilgrimage from a group of people that met up in Katoon, and they want to go to the flat realm of Opia.
Where would
Is
they
that
be
from
picked up?
Katoon to Opina? Or from here?
They're in Katoon. Passing ship left notice.
Okay. I bet they're the alkalites of the flat earth.
You know, that could be a lot of fun.
It really could be.
That's a long journey. Dang.
And we'd have to have them with us.
Mm-hmm.
We got room for passengers.
Mm-hmm.
We could take a dozen fairly easily.
There's another one for someone to find. They said a fallen star in one of the planets has a jungle, and that's an Eakin's trinket. They want to know what happened, so they're sent out a message requesting people to go check it out.
That was a fallen star.
There's someone who's saying there's some corrupt aristocrats to investigate back in Katoon.
Hey guys, corrupt aristocrats.
Those are always fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying, they're an aristocrat, but, whatever.
Yeah.
That's another one for... find out a corruptoristic, another corruptoristic, wow, two of them. This one apparently supposedly serves Marie the Mad. I don't know who she is, but that one apparently is in Eakin's trinket. There is another one where they're looking to have a dwarven town rescued from some necromancer, lich, or undead, or foe, or something, I'm not sure. There's some ill-gotten person messing with them. And let's see, that is located in, oh, Opia.
In where?
Opina?
Okay.
And let's see. There's someone who's saying there's some artifact that needs to be dealt with in some temple. He said it's a demonic artifact or something he claimed, apparently. Let's see, and he said that is in... Uh, Edu Army?
Where?
Here. He points
Oh.
to a name.
So here on the place.
No. He shows you like this paper that has the name written down, and that's the name he points to.
He wouldn't happen to know where that is, would he?
You ask him?
Yes.
Nope. Unfortunately, I just deal with ships coming in and out, so I find out about them. I don't know necessarily where they all are.
Okay. Well, thanks for the heads
I
up
know
on
most of them connect directly to where we are, but there's a few of them that don't. And there's one last one that I have listed here. And he wants some, it's a merchant who has a supply of goods. He wants to be escorted to, let me see here. Rupert Star, apparently there's a base there that he plans to do some trading in.
that. Okay.
And he's staying here in town somewhere, I'm not sure where.
We actually do know about Rupert Star. We have to go through Catan to get there.
Yeah. That's a total of 38 days travel
Uh-huh.
plus in sphere travel.
So I have a couple thoughts to point out. You know, it is nice to do, to pick up missions that are co-located.
Mm-hmm.
Just to point out, the ones
Yeah.
that are mainly co-located, there's 6 different locations to choose from.
Yep.
Understand, but I'm not talking about Bacon's trinket.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're clear.
Yeah. So, I noticed that there was a dwarven town in need in Opina.
Yeah. Baden
Okay.
perked up with that one, the mention of undead.
The problem is, it's 3 months to get there.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do on the way?
No, I mean, don't worry about that. The issue is, if it's a problem now, are they going to be okay in 3 months? you know,
So we'll have a
the
dwarven settlement to ourselves.
that is seriously not something coming out of Yonovan's mouth. But what if if time was not an issue, I would love to go back to Catan and pick up whoever wants to go out to Opina, and then go to Opina, and then try to rescue those dwarves, because it sounds like this could be a slavery situation. And Mr. Detective, I know you need to strut your stuff, but let me tell you, we have not liked to do intrigue. We've tried it, and we're bad at it. We spend a lot of time bumbling around, getting frustrated. So in general,
Oh yeah, he does not want to be corrupt aristocrats.
If getting jobs has been any indication, investigation missions have been that times 10.
so while we may be able to oppose the flesh stealers by investigation missions, we probably don't want them.
But hey, at least you're getting better at understanding that if you interact with something, then you tend to find out about it, and you have more known factors on it. And I do too.
Yep.
How long would it take to go pick up the people who wanted to go to the flat place?
It'd be an extra
40
40
days.
days.
Extra how many days?
40.
It might be worth it just for the money.
Which, considering it's 90 days anyway,
Yeah,
another 40 days may not make a difference.
Wait, 40 there and then 40 back.
No, 20 there, 20 back.
Okay. So you've already done that.
So
Wait,
90
would we
days
have?
or 130.
We wouldn't have to go 40 back, 20 back.
Well, hey, guys,
Wouldn't we go
do you
there?
want to call it here for the night, and we can just keep discussing
Sure.
offline, since we're just bantering about what to do, and we'll pick up there next week?
Okay.
Can we ask about rewards for all the quests, or are they unknown?
Good idea. Yes, we should.
Unlisted.
Since we didn't last time. I love those unlisted rewards.
It's, they say adequate value, but I don't have the exact numbers that entails in their mind.
Okay.
Some people
Sorry.
trade in sheeps and goats, I guess.
Or boons, which I need to pick one very soon.
Yeah, I'm for helping dwarven settlement and for anti-slavery. So.
I've got a couple of ideas about what I would take, but
And I can make like 4 guns on the way.
I mean, I'm down to
Yeah.
go to Flat
just-
Earth with people.
Just was going to say, that will be downtime, so you guys can kind of pick some downtime activities you guys want to do. So, but yeah, we'll pick up here next week, and hopefully give you guys some time to think and decide and chat what you want to do. So,
Okay.
next week, we'll see you then.
Cleoc will be teaching crew members martial arts if anyone is interested.
Ooh. See you then, guys.
All right.